everyone, Glenda Mollett here, and I'm in my craft room stamping. We're going to create the second card for my monthly Inkcolor Club. I'm just making sure I'm oriented properly. Yep. Okay. There we go. So I'm just going to go up, lift this up a bit because I'm a little too close. You're not getting the full view. There we go. Okay. So this card uses the Blossoms in Bloom bundle, which is Blossoms in Bloom stamp set, and the many layered Blossoms dies. I love these. It's so cool. So a lot of shimmery white cardstock used. There's the envelope. This is the inside. This is from Jar of Flowers. So we have the envelope. Might be a little difficult to get the pieces out because they are full size. Okay, envelope. A piece of Magenta Madness, well, it's your card base, Magenta Madness card base. 5 1/4 by 4 white for the inside. 5 1/4 by 4. Oh, that's not cut right. Uh-oh, I'll be cutting that. Okay, 5 1/4 by 4 that's supposed to be. So if I cut your kits wrong, I'm sorry. This is a piece of shimmer white cardstock that's going to layer on there. Now, this is the piece that does not have the adhesive on it. So there's also a piece of shimmery white cardstock that's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and it has adhesive sheet on the back. This is a piece of Magenta Madness that's also 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and it has the adhesive sheet on the back. Then we have a piece of white and a piece of Magenta Madness a piece of shimmer white and a piece of Magenta Madness for the sentiment, and a strip of ribbon as well. Okay, so first I'm going to cut this cardstock because it's too long. So I just have to, it's 5 1/2 and it needs to be 5 1/4. So there we go. That's done. All right. So I'm going to take the two pieces that have the adhesive on them, and we're going to cut out the two dies. So there's a thick die, and then there's a thin die. So the thick one is the back, so it's going to be Magenta Madness. The thin one is the top, so it's going to be shimmery white. And you just have to kind of play with it they do fit on here. It's just all in how you hold your tongue. And because it's got adhesive sheet on the back, I'm going to cut it upside down, because I find it cuts through the plastic a little bit better. Okay, going through my machine, nice and slow, so things get cut. Oh, there we are. And I love how just one pass through and it's all that cut for you. There we are. Now I'm going to take the shimmery white one and do exactly the same thing with the adhesive sheet on the back. Yeah, don't put your die on the side with the adhesive sheet. You're not going to be a happy camper. It will take you hours to scrub all those sticky bits out of your die. Okay. This needs to come up. It's just the plastic that hasn't cut. It's not the die or the cardstock. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use take your pick tool and take out some of the bits. Then I'm going to go back in and make sure that there's no cardstock left in there. Now, when you take the adhesive backing off the plastic part, all of these little bits should come out. The ones that don't come out right away. I like to take the big ones out first. Just because then there's less that I have to deal with afterwards. If you cut this out of just cardstock, you don't have this issue. It's the plastic liner on the back of the adhesive sheets that cause the issue. And it could be that your die cutting machine doesn't have that issue. This is my old one and it's worn out. And I can't wait till I get access to the new one, because oh my, I'm getting that little baby in my craft room. Another month and a bit, probably 6 weeks till I can order it. Because this is my original one. See, if it doesn't come out, just gently tap it a couple of times and out it pops. Okay. Garbage. Get rid of the big pieces. There we are. Now I'm going to take one of my dirty sheets to do this part, to pull off the liner, because then if I have to get rid of any bits that don't come, it's easier to take them out onto paper. There we are. See, they're all out, but now they're stuck there. They're not stuck to my fingers. All right, I'm looking for my shimmery white piece, and we're going to put this on here. And it can overlap a little bit because you do have the full width of the card to play with. So there we go. Layer 1 done. Now, layer 2. Pull the liner off. See that most of the little bits will come off with the liner. And if they don't, then what I do is I just have a piece of scrap paper underneath, or use your finger, and just do this. Push them through. Usually I just do this. And they come off. They stick to your finger and they come out really easy. But then of course you have to get them off your finger. That's the other issue. Okay, I think that's got it. Hoping there's no pieces hanging around, so I'm going to put it upside down because I have to get these off of my finger. There. Now I can't use this scrappy paper anymore because it's full of little bits. So we'll just put that right into the garbage. Alright, so here comes the... Oops, there's a little one left behind. Here comes the piece for the top, and you kind of line it up. And don't forget with these adhesive sheets that you have wiggle room. You can lift it up and reposition it if you have to. But I just kind of make sure I'm going right down on top all the way around. And I don't worry about the center because the center will take care of itself once you get the outside done. And then if you see that one is not where I want it, I'm just going to pick it up and move it. Look at that. Perfecto. Well, almost perfecto. I just need to move these. This whole branch needs to go a little bit south. There we are. Yeah, you don't have to be this picky. That's it, I'm done. I'm not going to do it anymore. Okay, then I turn it over and I give it a really good burnish. You can use your bone folder if you want. This helps too, just to get the layers to stick together. There we are. Now this needs to go onto that piece of black that I had to cut to the right size. So my apologies if I shipped your kit off with the wrong size cardstock. It's not a good thing. Okay, goes on here like this. Now put the ribbon around. So I'm going to turn it over and put some adhesive here. Well, except that one's hanging over the edge, so let's move that over a bit. And then you can kind of play. Oh, apparently that one I put it underneath. Look at that. Okay, well, put your ribbon on before you put this on if you don't want the ribbon over top, because apparently that's what I did. And I didn't do it for this one. There, now I'm going to make sure it's straight, so I'm just lining it up on my grid paper. Yep. And then we'll put some adhesive over the top. Because I've burnished it, now those petals and leaves are not coming up. And I don't want to rip anything. So this one is going to be a little bit different. And that's okay. It's allowed to be different. Now this goes on here like this. And see, the overhangy bits don't matter. Now the sentiment. I'm using a sentiment from Blossoms in Bloom. There's lots of sentiments in this stamp set. I really like it. So this one I've used Happy Birthday. This one I'm going to use Get Well Soon. But look at all the other ones that are in there. I'm going to, this is the Lucky Labels Pick-a-Punch. So it just sits down there. It's 3 different sizes. It's 1/2 inch, 3/4, it's 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 3/4 of an inch. So it just sits down in there, and then you turn it over and make sure that these points are in the same place on both sides. And then just punch it. Then just see it punched one side, so then you just turn it around, pop it back in, turn it over, make sure your sides are equal. These two dots here, and you're done. Now we'll do the same thing to this is a piece of shimmer white, and this is 1/4 of an inch, so it just sits down in the bottom hole, I hope. It's supposed to sit in the bottom hole. Maybe I cut it. You have to be really precise with your cuts with this, because otherwise they don't fit down in the hole. Now, see how crooked that is at the top? Because it's not sitting down there in the hole properly. So I'm just moving it around with my finger till I get it even on both sides, and then I'll punch it. If you don't get it even, it punches something funky and it doesn't look good. Yeah. Okay. Why are you not going all the way in? There we go. Okay, so it's all the way in. And I'm just making sure that it's where it's supposed to be. And it's done. There we go. So that's how you use that punch. Now, I'll get my Memento ink. And the Get Well Soon stamp. And because it's clear, then I can stamp after I've done the punching with the punch. Sorry, my head has to get in here. I can't get it straight. Oh. Oh dear. That's my vacuum knocking at the door. It wants to come in, but it's not coming in. Oh. There we go. Put that to the side for now. Put some adhesive on the back here. And then line it up on here. Put it down just a hair more. There we go. Now this is going up on dimensionals. Okay, where did I put my big ones? There they are. And that's just going to sit there. Now, what did I do on this one? I did go right over. Oh, that's why I put the ribbon in behind, because I don't really like it when it sits on the ribbon, because sometimes there's issue with the ribbon sags. So I'm going to put some tape underneath that ribbon just to hold it in place so it doesn't move once the sentiment is on there. And if the tape shows, it doesn't matter because the sentiment will cover it up anyways. I don't usually do this because I don't like my ribbons sitting unnaturally, but because I screwed it up. See how it sits there unnaturally? But I think because I'm putting a nice big sentiment over, we'll be fine. It's my story, I'm sticking to it. It will be fine. Okay, liner's coming off the dimensionals. And I'm going to put this over to one side because I can. Line it kind of up in the middle of that ribbon. Like that. And like that. There we go. There's the card done. And you don't need bling because the cardstock is blingy. It's the shimmery white. So we'll do the inside and the envelope. So I've used one of the jar of flowers on here, but I changed it up a bit and I'm going to use a different one. Alright. Because I'm only stamping part of the stamp. My vacuum is calling me. It must have got stuck on something. It says, hey, can you help me? Hey, can you help me? Yeah, not coming, sorry. So then I'm just going to stamp part of this on here. And I'm not going to do any coloring or anything. It's fine, doesn't need it. There we go. And on the envelope, once again, stamping part of it. I like this jar of flowers. It's got some really cool floral images on it. There we are. Just got to put the inside in and then we're done. And then I can finish off the videos. And then I have a tree to plant this afternoon. It's supposed to rain for a couple of days and I want to get the tree in the ground before it starts to rain. There we are. Done. Okay, there's... Oops, let's get rid of this dirty paper. You don't need to see that. There's the 2 cards. This is Magenta Madness. It's a little bright, but if you tone it down with black and white or darker colors, it's really a lovely color. It's nice and fun and bright, sassy. That's it. It's a sassy color. So thanks so much for watching my video today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stampin' Smiles and bye for now.